Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Okay, so crypto's in meltdown mode, and yesterday we had another new XRP ETF launch, Spot XRP ETF. It's from Bitwise, and you had $107 million roughly flow into that thing on the first day as the market's melting down. I got a few things to say about that. It's just completely wild. Also, some reasons to be additional reasons that you should be optimistic for the future if you're holding XRP, and even if you're just broadly speaking in the crypto asset class. The best is yet ahead. I know it's fear out there, and sometimes on days like this when everything's fearful, you don't want cheery old Moon Lambo delivering a dose of truth, damn it. But here I am. You're on my channel, damn it. I do what I want. All right, but before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. So again, I know it's a bloody day. Yesterday was a bloody day in the markets. Today is as well. XRP's at $1.95 as I record this. Bitcoin at $84,357. It recovered from the lows from earlier today, but, who knows? By the time you're watching this, I don't know. I guess Bitcoin and XRP are both zero. Maybe I guess that's possible. Who knows? Obviously, I don't actually think that. But I acknowledge the market could be a little bit lower. But you know what turned around recently? Because, recently the stock market ain't been doing so hot. But today, out of nowhere, with no actual change and no material narrative, period, the S&P 500 is up, at least as of the time I'm recording this. It hasn't closed yet. But it's up 1.54% at the moment, which I know that's like tiny baby ant numbers if you're in the world of crypto. In traditional finance, that's big in a day. That's really big. You know what's even bigger is this, though. Look at that. The Russell 2000 small cap stocks. That's what we watch for breadth. It's up 3.32% today because reasons, folks. Because reasons. Then you've got the NASDAQ 100 up 1.66% today. And again, nothing materially happened, at least not that I've seen. Maybe I missed something, but nothing that I've seen would have caused that. Market's going to market, man. Market's going to market. I don't know what to tell you. But you do love to see. I don't believe that the best is behind us with the macro conditions being what they are. I'm just going to maintain my position until things are so completely obliterated that even a Moon Lambo like myself can't deny it, that we're in a bear market. Maybe I become Moon Family Sedan yet again. Oh, I hope not. That better never freaking happen ever again. But look, if there's good reason to believe definitively we're in a bear market, fine. I just don't believe that's most probable. I could be wrong, but given the macro conditions and the fact that pullbacks like this are historically normal, and also understanding that 4-year cycle, like you understand the 4-year cycle, the number 4 doesn't matter. What matters is the underlying metrics that resulted in the number 4, the 4-year cycle being a thing. The things that caused the 4-year cycle to exist, those are the things that matter. Those things that have caused the 4-year cycle to exist have now shifted to 5 years. And I've talked about it so many times in recent videos, I'm not going to get into it further than that right now. But that is the case. And for that reason, I just can't flip bears. The macro doesn't make sense. So things would have to melt down a lot more for me to flip bearish. And if it does make sense, I will. If that new data comes in and that new disaster comes in, much to my dismay and yours, then fine. But I'm not counting on it at this point. Here's a post from on-chain analytics firm Sentiment just from this afternoon. Bitcoin sentiment across social media has officially dipped to its lowest point since December 11th, 2023. According to bullish versus bearish comments on X, Reddit, Telegram, and others, retail is capitulating and panic selling at a significant level we haven't seen in 2 years. Okay, my friends, markets find bottoms. They do. And what is happening right here? So I don't know if this is the literal bottom, but markets absolutely find bottoms. So if you think this is full meltdown mode and you're one of the people that's now convinced that we're going to have a 75% drawdown as is pretty much normal, 70, 80%, whatever it be for Bitcoin, and then alts take further beating, okay. But if you're talking about altcoins, I'm sitting here wondering, like, given that we didn't actually have an alt season anyway, and a lot of coins are down in the last year, like 90% from their highs, What are you even talking? So what are we're going down what, like another 80, 90% from the already down 80 to 90%? And just historically unprecedented. If it happens, okay, fine. That's the base case now? I just don't see it. Here's a post from on-chain analytics firm Swissblock, risk-off signal. The risk-off signal is just inches from the capitulation zone, the same zone that has marked major Bitcoin bottoms in the past 2 years. We're entering the final stretch of seller exhaustion. Once it rolls over, Bitcoin snaps into a bottoming phase with sharp, fast rebounds. So I just gotta ask it: is this time different? So like we hit the bottoming zone, and then like we bottom even more. It just never stopped. We hit the pavement, and then we dive straight through the pavement to the center of the earth where there's molten lava, and I don't know what the hell else is down there. I don't know, Satan? Like, it's just not going to stop. Like, we bottom, but then we bottom even more. Times infinity. Is that what happens? Like, is this what's going through people's minds? I'm not really buying. Markets find bottoms, folks. And again, if I'm wrong and I have to eat my words, I will do it. I don't have an ego, so that won't be that big of a deal. But I'm just being honest. I don't see it right now. I really don't. And especially if you're talking about anybody that's pointing out various things in the charts, when obviously there's a, let's call it something that wouldn't be the most organic event. What's happened with the October 10th liquidation event, and which I think is a primary reason we're seeing what we're seeing today. I talked about it extensively in the last video, so I'm not going to get into it further here. But you look at that. Of course, that triggered all sorts of metrics that I see chart analysts talking about, but they're ignoring that, and they're ignoring macro. And I'm sitting here thinking, how come you only want to, you only want to build this jigsaw puzzles with, like 25 out of the 50 pieces. You don't want to consider the other pieces to complete the puzzle. You just want to use like half the pieces, and then the other ones you don't care because it's not charting pieces. Okay, you do you, girl, you do you. Here's the headline: Bitwise XRP ETF sees over $100 million in inflows on its first day. How can this be? It's blood in the streets. How is this possible? And here are the numbers from Bitwise. It's the XRP spot XRP ETF, the second one to launch in the United States. The first one, of course, was Canary Capital's, which launched on November 13th. And man, the inflows for that were even bigger. And that was a down day too, but it was still like $245 million in inflows for the day. It ended up being, and it shouldn't surprise you if you're an XRP holder. It's just astonishing to see that Canary Capital ETF, number one launch of an ETF this year out of about 900 ETFs launched. XRP was, and not just crypto. I'm saying out of all ETFs in the United States, XRP number one launch day. It beat all of the other launches, and it was on a down. The market was down that day, and XRP was still number one. I'm telling you, folks, there might be something to this XRP thing. Maybe it's not just you and me that think it makes sense. But look at this. So here it is from Bitwise. They posted this just this morning. The Bitwise XRP ETF day one, end of day report, 25.7 million in trading volume, $107.6 million in assets under management, 0.34% management fee, with the fee set at 0 for the first month on the first $500 million in assets. Let's go. Yeah, and so that's smart. They're just trying to get new customers in the doors to use their to purchase their particular XRP ETF. And here you had Hunter Horsley. He's the CEO of Bitwise, and he wrote, day one inflows into the Bitwise XRP ETF, $107 million. The ticker is XRP in a brokerage account. Onward. Okay, so two things. First of all, I got to tell you, so the ticker symbol, it's XRP. It's just XRP. So for them, smart. If somebody is in their brokerage account and they're looking to purchase some a derivative product of XRP and they type in XRP, that's probably going to pop up first. I'm assuming it's going to. And so imagine a future where there's a ton of different XRP ETFs out there. It's just smart. That's the most XRP one there could be. And so from their perspective, it's smart. Do I like this? No, I do not. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just a little disappointed because now we have two different assets with the same ticker symbol. XRP, the cryptocurrency itself, has the ticker symbol XRP because it's XRP. And now you have an ETF which has stolen that ticker symbol and it is also now XRP. Has this ever happened before? I've honestly, in my 8 years in crypto, I don't recall ever seeing anything quite like this. Maybe it's happened somewhere else in history. I've never seen something to where an ETF hijacks the ticker symbol of the underlying asset. Has that happened before? Maybe it has. I don't know. So no, I don't care for it because it adds confusion to the market. But I'm sitting there thinking, if I'm Bitwise, that's pretty freaking smart, honestly. It actually is. But look, what's important to understand is that this $107 million, it wasn't retail chasing green candles, all right? Just to be clear, this was overwhelmingly institutional money flowing in. Okay, these are long-term allocators. We're talking wealth managers, RIAs, portfolio managers. And they don't care if XRP's down 5% or 8% or 15% on a given day, whatever it is. They don't give a damn, okay? Their strategies are set months in advance. And they're thinking in years, not days. So while retail panics during a red market, institutions are out there buying exposure on schedule without any fear at all. So just know, if you're somebody that's fearful, oh my God, what if my net worth goes down even further because my XRP is worth less on the market, blah, 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 I'm a sad panda. Even if you're like one of those, just know that the institutions out there purchasing XRP are stone cold. They have no emotions. Absolutely none. They don't care. They understand that this is just how humans respond. Markets are going to go down. It's the most volatile asset class on the planet, and they have no doubt that what's going to happen is XRP is going to rebound at some unknown point in the future, perhaps sooner than later. We'll see. But either way, even if we went into a bear market, they understand number go up ultimately. They're not fearful. They behave different than the typical lemming retail speculators. And here's something that most people are clueless about, by the way. This buying from these institutions, mostly institutions anyway, with this ETF, it doesn't hit the exchanges the way that retail buys do. Institutions don't market buy on Coinbase, okay? They go through authorized participants and OTC desks. They buy over the counter, OTC, where huge blocks of XRP can be sourced off exchange. And when that happens, the exchange order books stay completely untouched. So you don't even see it. You don't even see it happening. It's behind the scenes. There's no candle spike. There's no immediate price reaction. And the structural demand, it's real. It's definitely real. But it doesn't show up in the chart right away. That comes later once OTC desks replenish inventory and once, and once inflows, of course, keep piling up, which inevitably is going to happen. I mean, you're going to see a ton of XRP ETFs as time passes here. There's a bunch that are about to launch. There's going to be multiple other ones launching this month, almost certainly. So it's a time to be excited as an XRP holder. I know it's like not popular to say that on a day like this, but I'm still excited. And even if I'm wrong about whether or not we're going into a bear market, and I don't think I'm wrong, I'll still be excited because then we'll go into a bear market and that means price would go even lower than where we are, right? Like it would go way lower. And then I'm still earning new money and I can buy a whole bunch of more crypto on the cheap. The asset class isn't going away. So I'll still be excited. I'll still be having fun. And then the market will rebound and then we're going to hit a new euphoric peak at some unknown point in the future. And we're fine either way. So I'm still excited for the future though. I don't believe it's most probable that we're done. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, like I keep saying. But I'll be happy either way. I'll tell you that. Jumping into crypto and ultimately purchasing XRP, it is the best, hands down, the best financial decision I've made in my entire life, even with this pullback. My net worth it's just so much higher than it otherwise would have been. And we're down to a $2.8 trillion market cap. Down to that. A year ago, it was still like 2.2, so we're still up a fair bit, even from a year ago. Now, my net worth is up way more than a year ago because XRP's outperformed the market, obviously, and some of the other stuff that I hold has. So I'm very thrilled about this. Now, it took a long time. I've been here 8 years, but to get the type of performance that I've gotten here in 8 years in crypto, I mean, it would have taken, 40 years or something in traditional finance based on historical returns. Even if you just buy ETFs that track the S&P 500, it would have taken decades. And I still don't think we're done. So it's going to dwarf that even further than it already has. And anybody can do this, just like regular people. It's just still astonishing to me that I know people are down right now. I don't want to hear this, but it's astonishing to me the real opportunity that regular people like you and me have. And you don't have to be a finance wizard. No, I'm not. You just buy stuff and then you wait and then you get rich. It's freaking amazing. And yeah, you can do the same thing in the stock market, but this is the stock market on steroids. You know what I mean? There's just so much opportunity here. I'm excited for it anyway. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think, but it's still a good time to be. It's a great time to be an XRP holder. And don't forget, regardless of price, XRP fundamentals have never been stronger than they are today. Never in history. And price doesn't always reflect that. But markets find bottoms and then ultimately reverse, and everything's ultimately fine. That's what I believe. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.